and welcome to the Sins Review. I'm your host, Jackie Sins. So, I saw The Suicide Squad in theaters recently, and wowza. Okay, so I have reviewed four horror movies, because I did the Fear Street trilogy and then the original Friday the 13th. As I mentioned before, I love horror, thriller, action, sci-fi, and fantasy. And The Suicide Squad definitely qualifies as an action movie with a little sci-fi. Now, I know what you're gonna say. The first Suicide Squad movie sucked. Joker, Jared Leto, all that. Yeah, I know. I saw it. And the only thing really good about it was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet you. Sorry. The voices.
Thankfully, she does reprise her role in The Suicide Squad. So to give the rundown, the movie starts out the way almost anything Suicide Squad would start. Dangerous criminals, some with superhuman abilities, some not exactly, are recruited by a secret government agency as a black ops unit to take on very dangerous, dare I say, suicidal missions. Same Suicide Squad came, yeah. Anyway, there's this bitch, Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, who has all the members implanted with explosive devices in their heads, and she will detonate them if they disobey her orders. In other words, that's another connection to suicide. If you can't handle the stress of hostiles shooting at you and your comrades dying before you, you can just disobey orders and run away, and she will literally blow your head off for you. The film has a cast of colorful characters, including Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, Peacemaker, played by John Cena. Yeah, I know, let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Polka Dot Man, played by David Distion. I'm sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce that. Pete Davidson is also in this as Blackguard, whoever that is. Hey, I'll be honest, I've never actually read any of the DC comics. Watched Batman the animated series as well as a lot of the movies and stuff. I am somewhat familiar with other characters. The characters I'm familiar with are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, The Flash. That's most of the heroes that I can remember. The villains were the Joker, General Zod, Lex Luthor, and a bunch of others. And of course, Harley Quinn, who is once again played by Margot Robbie in this movie. Of course, in this she's more of an anti-hero and not really a villain. I mean, there's also King Shark, played by Sylvester Stallone. At least I think it's Sylvester Stallone. Kind of sounds more like a very bad imitation of his voice, really. Oh, anyway, fair warning without giving any spoilers. Expect the unexpected. Especially with... No. That's a spoiler. Bad, Jackie. Bad. Now, I know most of you probably already know that, unlike most DC theatrically released movies, this movie is not rated PG-13. Instead, it's rated R. And trust me, it earns that rating. Unlike the previous Suicide Squad, again, just Suicide Squad, no The Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Are you still with me? You get it, right? Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Margot Robbie is not forced to carry this film as Harley Quinn. It's not in the way she kind of was in Suicide Squad. Again, just Suicide Squad, the movie that I'm talking about right now. The other characters have something to contribute. They have backstories and personalities that make them interesting. Now, having said that, a lot of the best scenes in the film are the ones with Harley Quinn. Oh, I just remembered to get back to the whole R-rated part. This film is filled to the brim with action, comedy, and orgasms! Yeah, there's a lot of gore, extreme violence, dirty adult humor, and tiny bits of sexual content, so be sure to leave the kids at home. I really enjoyed watching this movie. I cheered, I laughed, I cried, and wowza!
Harley Quinn, nice to meet ya. Sorry. The voices.
Yeah, I'm quite obsessed with Harley Quinn. She's just so fun and enthusiastic and a bit psycho, but that's okay. She clearly has people that she cares about, mostly other members of the Suicide Squad. Like her friends, and you don't mess with her friends. Margot Robbie was made for this role, I'm telling you. So again, without giving any spoilers, Harley Quinn has this super awesome action sequence where she snaps this guy's neck with her legs. This is followed by top-notch gunplay, arm breaking and neck snapping, throat slitting, and
Double machine guns, motherfucker!
okay, they're technically M16 assault rifles, but you get it. I should probably talk about the other characters other than Harley Quinn. I'll start with Bloodsport. He is a skilled assassin who can use just about anything as a deadly weapon. He has a little crossbow thing in one hand and a flamethrower in the other, pistol and a knife, I think. Pretty sure he has quite a few different weapons in his arsenal. He has a daughter who we meet in a flashback to before the team was assembled for the mission. He's caught shoplifting this expensive phone watch thing or whatever. So the bitch Waller, she uses this to leverage Bloodsport by suggesting that she could send his daughter to a very dangerous prison where she will more than likely die horribly if he doesn't agree to go on the mission. Can't get much colder than that. So there's this fatherly sort of instinct going on here. And it stays relevant throughout the film because another one of the members of the squad, Ratcatcher 2, reminds him of his daughter, and we get to see a little bit of his protective side. I guess I might as well take this into a segue into Ratcatcher 2. Why is she called Ratcatcher 2? Because her father was Ratcatcher 1. Basically, she controls rats. She can command them to do anything, like swarm and devour an enemy's crotch or whatever. The rats are even used to steal things of value. She has a rat companion with like a sweater that's always in her hands or perched on her shoulder. She is also apparently tired most of the time. I mean, they kind of make a little big deal about it, especially when we see her for the first time. So remember when I said the characters have backstories and personalities, and Ratcatcher 2 and Bloodsport kind of having a father-daughter relationship? Yeah, there's a relatively heart-wrenching moment where she relays the story of her life with her father. It's really emotional, and you should go see this movie yourself to get it. Now, the Peacemaker is definitely not my favorite character. Not just because I despise John Cena with a burning passion, but also he's just too much of a show-off. I know this whole show-off thing, it's supposed to work in the rivalry with Bloodsport, but it gets old pretty fast. Peacemaker is kind of an ironic name because, yeah, he just straight up murders people. He claims that he kills in order to achieve peace, which is a huge load of bullshit. Oh, and by the way, if you love John Cena, that's your right, that's your opinion. I have no problem with you. We all have our opinions, and it's good to respect other people's opinions. I just want to let you know, I mean no offense whenever I say that I hate John Cena. I just personally really don't like him. Polka Dot Man. I mean, what is there even to say? You can probably guess what he does. I mean, Peacemaker guessed it early on. I guess there is this backstory about his powers and the polka dots, or it actually, nope. No. Y'all can figure that out for yourselves. No spoilers. Oh, it also involves anger towards his mother, and that's connected throughout the film because he imagines his enemies as his mother, which I guess makes them easier to kill. Oh, what else can I talk about? Oh, there's this thing called Operation Starfish, and it kind of involves like an extraterrestrial kind of thing that's in the form of a starfish, and you can probably guess what that is. Probably exactly what you think it is. I'm not going to reveal too much about this threat that the Suicide Squad has to contend with, except say that by the climax, it is absolutely glorious. So if you haven't surmised yet, I highly recommend that you go see this movie in theaters, or if you have HBO Max, you can stream it if you don't feel comfortable, because I understand we're still living in a pandemic, and it's totally your choice. I respect whatever you choose. I still recommend that, you know, if you do want to watch it any sort of way, whether in theaters or some streaming service, you know, especially, you know, if it, once it leaves theaters, you could look for it there, or even buy the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. If you are a fan of action and crude humor and gore, then I highly recommend that you go see this film. Okay, calm down, I know. Orgasms. Anyway, I give The Suicide Squad full sins. Until next time, this has been the Sins Review. I'm Jackie Sins.
Double machine guns, motherfucker!
Hi guys, this is Jackie Sins again. I just wanted to remind you that I have a book available on Amazon. It's a Kindle ebook and paperback. It's about vampires and werewolves, witches, sorcerers, that kind of stuff. As you can tell by the cover, there's a little bit of a love story there. So anyway, please check that out and leave a review on Amazon. Let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks guys. Bye.